Follow us live on all our social media platforms on Facebook at Aloore Radio, Twitter and Instagram at Aloore Radio. You can also subscribe on our YouTube page on Aloore Radio. Make sure you click on the notification bell so you know when we are live. This is Aloore Radio, the voice of Oyo State.
As a people with one song, with one voice, we're a nation undivided and poised. We will take a stand and build our land in faith to defend what is ours. Here we are as a people with one heart for one cause. We're determined to rebuild and restore. Where freedom reigns and truth prevails, our land where there's hope for us all. Our land where there's hope for us all. We'll defend our land. We believe in this nation, and we know we'll get there. We'll defend our land. We believe in Nigeria and abroad. And one day we'll shine like the sun. We're a great nation.
It's business and life.
Though we are many people, different tribes, different tongues, we're united in our strength and resolve to uphold the honor of our land and for generations to come. And for
Good afternoon and welcome to Business and Life series going on Aloore Radio, transmitting from the GSM studio at the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism, Oyo State Government Secretariat, Agodi, Ibadan. And you can reach Aloore Radio on Facebook at Aloore Radio, on YouTube at Aloore Radio, and www.aloreradio.com. I am Chris Okafor, and today we're talking business, as the title says. Anyway, the topic for today is, why is my business not growing? That means that we're looking at businesses that you have started, and for some reason it is not taking off as you would have wanted it to. It is not moving as quickly as you would have wanted it to move, and you're wondering why. We're looking at characters and decisions that we take in business, characters, behavioral activities that we take in business, and the effect it has on the overall business operations. So, what are the decisions you take, and what are the effects? These are what are the things we're looking at on today's discussion on why is my business not growing. First is that I would like you to put it at the back of your mind that your business and that's you and your business, are not the same. You are an independent person to your business. You can project your business, you can push your business with your personality, but you are not your business. The moment you begin to treat your business that way, you have started off in making a change. Your business is not you, and you are not your business. Even if your business carries your name is Shade Oladeju, and you make the business shadeoladeju.com or Shade Oladeju Limited. Yes, the moment you put limited behind it, or enterprise, or whatever the name carries, it has become a unique identity. It is no longer you. Now, especially when it comes to finances, actually, your business finance and your personal finance are not the same, and so your personal purse and that of your business should not operate together. We've had situations where businesses operate by paying into the personal account of the business owner, and there's no difference. He takes from there to cook soup, or she takes from there to begin to buy clothing. So those are part of the things that kill or slow down your business growth. So those are completely unique things that you have to treat independent of each other. Now we start by making it clear that business takes time to grow. Just like a child grows, a child takes time to grow. Your business also takes time to grow. Your business will not start off today and hit the roof that same day. A child learns to sit, a child learns to talk, a child learns to crawl, a child learns to stand, a child learns to work, and then a child learns to run. And then with time, a child learns to begin to do things like riding bicycles, walking longer distances, and stuff like that, as the child develops capacity and strength. The same thing with your business. There's a time to conceive it. The same way you conceive pregnancy, there is a time to nurture the pregnancy in your mind, in your heart, just like you nurture pregnancy in your womb. And there's a time to give birth to the business, which is the time you take off or you start the business. And there's a time to feed it with milk, which is when you're putting in your personal money into the business to run. There's a time the business begins to feed itself, which is the time a child learns to eat by itself. And then there's a time the business begins to sit down, the time business begins to stand, it begins to crawl. The same way is applicable in your regular everyday business. So a time for you to nurse your business, to feed it with milk, a time for you to allow it feed itself, a time it begins to operate on its own, a time begins to make money, until the time it gets to the point where you can completely pull out and the business will run itself. In fact, it gets to a time, just like you have in adulthood, where a child grows up and becomes an adult and is independent of his parents. In fact, at that time, the child begins to even take care of the parents, just like your business. It gets to a time you stop putting money into the business. You stop putting so much effort into the business. In fact, you completely stop operating the business. The business can operate itself. You become chairman. Chairman of companies don't do everyday operations of the companies. The managers and the rest of it, executive directors that do all of that. So it gets to a point you just sit back and the business begins to feed you, begins to cater for you, begins to fund your lifestyle. Yes, that is adulthood in business. But on the start, it is not that business that you're just starting that will fund your lifestyle, that will fund everything you're doing. You have to be able to learn how to separate them. Because if you expect a child that is just born, a newborn child, to begin to provide for your needs, to begin to fuel your car, you're going to put the child in a precarious situation, and that's if you don't kill the child in trying to force the child to do the things it's not meant to do at that stage. It's like forcing a fish to climb a tree. So you have to allow the business to grow in the appropriate manner, in the appropriate stage and milestones required of it. And so business and yourself, first of all, should be separated, and it takes time to grow. Business takes time, just like it takes time for a child. So you have to learn to accommodate that. And depending on the type of business you are into, you must exercise caution to ensure you don't kill the business. Oh yes, like I used the example of the child and how you are are going to end up overburdening the child and over demanding of the child by expecting the child to be able to do certain things for you at a certain stage. The same way, you don't kill your business by putting too much demand on it at the beginning. So you must exercise caution to ensure you don't kill the business by yourself. There are three kinds of business basically. We have the trading, you have the service provision, and you have manufacturing. Depending on where you fit in, you have to know what works for you. How a service provider makes his money or her money is completely different from how a manufacturer makes his or her money, which is completely different from how a trader makes his or her money. So you have to first identify the sector you fit into. For example, a service provider is more like a lawyer, sometimes a doctor, and sometimes a content creator, people who just provide services, an internet service provider, and all of those kinds of things. The way they make money might be completely different. You might have a lawyer write 2 pages of document for you and charge you 150 or 200,000 naira, of which he can calculate his cost of operations, which will still be less than 5% of his total money, and so he sees the rest as intellectual content of what he has developed intellectually, and so the money belongs to him. It's different from a trader who will take 500,000 naira to the market to buy goods, and his total profit on that 500,000 naira might not be more than 10,000 naira. It's completely different how they operate. And the manufacturer who has to first go and buy raw materials, require machinery to process the raw materials, require workers to process the raw materials, manufacture the raw material, and now look for how to get it to sell in the market. Your business, your profit margins are completely different. So identifying where you belong will also help you to know the kind of business you're doing and what the profit margin is. Understanding your profit margin will then help you to make the right choices and make the right decisions, not to kill the business by overburdening them. Traders buy goods from a source, add a margin for bringing it closer to the market and resell. And manufacturers take raw materials and make them into usable things and then sell. While service providers providing tangible services, mostly from skill set or something from both skill set and material. But whichever one you find yourself into, you have to look at critically how you make your profit. First of all, I'll start by saying that you cannot even know if you're making profit or not if you don't have good paperwork, good accounting system. And that's why I always advise business owners, no matter how little the knowledge is, learn basic accounting. For some people who learned it in secondary school, fantastic. The people that learned the balance sheet and all of those kinds of things, as simple as that will help your business. You have to be able to sit down and calculate how much went into this business and how much I am making out of the business, how much I am looking at in making of profit, how much did I eventually make. You should be able to sit down and make basic budgets regarding your business. How much do I require to get this transaction done, and at the end, how much did I eventually spend in getting the transaction done. Then you look at these two scenarios and you balance them out by having your income minus your expenditure, and then you arrive at your profit. But that doesn't end there. For people who are going to go a step further, you now have a situation after you have declared what you call a gross profit. You now begin to factor in the government's cost into it, like tax and VAT and all of those kinds of things, which you eventually pull out. And then if you have staff, you pull out your staff wages and the rest of it. You pull out your rent, your electricity bill, and all of those kinds of things set aside before you arrive at a conclusion of profit. But what do we have? We have situations where people don't even know how to separate things. At the end of the year, they begin to look for rent. They begin to beg people for rent to pay for their shop rent, because while they were making the money, they assumed that everything that comes their way belongs to them. Rent will always come if you are renting a shop, except it's your own shop. Even if you own your shop, it's expected that you pull out an amount which you call rent. Don't you see in the Nigerian budget that we have rent for Aloore? Who collects it, I don't know. But there's still a budget for the rent for Aloore, which is deducted every year from our budget. Even if the shop is built by you, you should factor in rent for your shop, assuming that if you were to rent this shop, how much is it that you're going to take aside for rent? These are considerations you need to put together, because if you built the shop by yourself, it is from that rent you're going to use in recouping the cost of building the shop. And so you have to cost your electricity bill, you have to factor in other bills like your community dues, drainage clearing, cleaning, somebody help you cut grass, and all of those kinds of things have to be factored out of your business before you begin to arrive at what you think you call a profit. Because at the end of the day, most of the things that happen to us is the fact that people don't know how to bill, because they don't know how to do basic calculation. They can't bill because they don't know the things they have to factor in. So a cake that should have cost you 12,000 naira, you bill for 7,000 because it's you. You believe that if it cost you 6,000 naira to buy the dough and the ingredients, so 1,000 naira is good enough for you for profit. But that's not it. From that cake, you should be able to factor in what will go into your electricity bill, which you use in burning your oven. You should factor in what is going into paying servicing your oven when it's time. It should factor into the assistant who is helping you with what you are doing in that baking organization. You should also factor in other things like the refuse you are going to produce from that baking, which you are going to pay for the refuse collector to be able to evacuate your refuse. Those are things you factor in to be able to arrive at something you are supposed to pay for consumption, which is VAT. All of those things have to be factored in to arrive at something, and it's on that basis you will know if you are doing business or not. For traders, profit margin is so low that any minor error could run into losses. Same with manufacturing. Service provision has some operating space, but it has its own drawback too. So whichever group you fall under, look at how your lifestyle and operation can hinder its growth and make it clear. For example, I tell people, register your business. Always ensure your business is registered with Corporate Affairs Commission, and possibly register for your VAT and your tax. Those people, the registration helps you to put you on your toes, because in CSC, for example, you have to file annual returns to show that you have done business that year, and there's an amount you have to file according to how much money you make. And because you have to file those annual returns, it will help you to put your paperwork in order. And if you're not filing annual returns, CSC assumes you're not doing business, and they can as well delete your name from their registry. And to always register your business, and once the business is registered, just like a newborn child, give it a name. Register the name and get a bank account for it. Nurture it like you nurture a child. Care for it and prevent it from diseases and pests, and guard it from yourself and your greed. Let it grow and become independent of you. Your business name can even be your name, can be an acronym, can be a word like Q. Can be anything. Just name it, but ensure you choose a name and register the name. Part of the essence of registering a business name is for you to be able to open a bank account for it. And when you open a bank account for it, use it solely for your business. And when people want to pay you for services, let them always pay through your business account. It's more dignifying, it's more recognizable. There are even companies who will not pay into your personal accounts. So it's important to register your business, and it's important your business runs by itself. So when you have your business and it's registered and it has a bank account, then ensure that all your finances go through your businesses. Yes, it will be hard to separate your business account from your personal account if you want to grow, but you must do it. If you want to get by and just be where you are, no problem. You can run both as one, but if you want to grow in business, it's important you separate them. Don't let there be too many interactions from both where you send money from and where you pick up money from. Ensure that customers always pay money into your business account. So separate your business account from your personal greed. You want to buy a new set of clothing, so you're excited, you want to change your wardrobe, and then you dip hand inside your business account to make the wardrobe change. After all, you're the one making the money. Of course, that is true, but you're not going to help your business grow with such attitude. You're not going to help your business grow with such mindset. Your business is not going to grow with such attitude. So it's important you separate these things and ensure that your personal clothing should come from your personal income. Now you will ask me, so how am I going to have personal income when I'm not a salary earner? Your business should pay you. You are a staff in that business. You resume every day into that business. So you should mark an amount you think you are contributing the value of into the business. Your business generates a fixed, a relatively range of money every month. So you should look at it and say, how much can I pay for my services in this business? I can pay myself 50,000, I can pay myself 100,000, I can pay myself 200,000, and 200,000, 300,000, whatever it is you can pay. Set it out and pay yourself from it every month. That way you have monies for your personal operations and your personal agendas. You want to buy anything personal to you, use from your salary, and ensure that when you're making such transfer, it is labeled salary for March, salary for February, salary for January. Receive your salary like like every other salary earner receives their salary, and leave your business money alone. Focus and live on your salary. If your business is not able to provide you with certain lifestyle, it means you have not gotten to that stage at all. So don't overburden the business and trying to make the business provide you with high lifestyle where you have to buy very expensive gadgets and the rest of it. I've seen people whose total business asset or whose total business formation are not even up to a particular amount, yet they want to use very expensive devices and gadgets in that regard from that same business. If your business cannot finance a particular lifestyle that you have, then it's important you know and tell yourself the truth, which is the fact that you have not gotten to the point where you can finance such lifestyle. So separate your lifestyle from the business and don't dip your hands into your business money to finance your personal things. Your friends and family, we'll take up this very quickly before we have a short break. Your friends and family are very good for your business, especially when you're just starting off. They help you. They are the ones that trust you. They can buy from you irrespective of the fact that your product is good or not. Your family members will buy, your friends will buy, yes, but they are not good enough for you to grow business. They are just there to help you take off from the ground. When you're off the ground, you should begin to expand your scope. How many friends and family do you even have that you're banking your entire business model on them? How many of them do you know? Do you have up to 10,000 friends and family that could ensure that your sales continue to come regularly? Most unlikely. So your friends and family are your starting point for your business, but they can't grow your business. Your church member will help you start off that idea you have, but they are not enough to grow it. They will help give you clean and authentic feedback that could be very helpful for you to take off a life. But you need to soar. You need to expand beyond known faces. Whatever it is you sell, it's important you understand that your market, this is my market. Don't limit yourself to known faces. Plunge out into the open. Look for other areas you can explore where you can make much more money than your immediate family or your church members. Yes, those people are there to help you, give you the early feedback. Oh, this your plantain chips is not tasting well, or this your soap is too watery, or this is that and that, and then you stabilize with them, but do the appropriate registration. If you're into consumption of food or chemicals like soap or chips, it's important you register with NAFDAC so that you'll be sure that your products can be in the open and can sell anyway. It is from those family members, church members, or mosque members, whichever the case may be, that you have, that helps you to make this first set of purchase to raise enough money to do all this registration. So they are very important. And never set up your business model or plans on friends and family, and never get upset that your friends aren't buying from you. If your product is good enough, they will buy. So the moment your friends and family are not buying from you, you're not filling up their needs, you're not satisfying their needs, you're not meeting their expectations. You have somebody who is sewing clothes for you and is complaining that his family members don't sew clothes from him. It means that you're not making good clothing. Go and learn better. You can't force me to buy clothes from you because you're my brother. No, you can't. I have to buy clothing that I can wear comfortably. So if you're not able to make good, decent clothing, I have the right to go elsewhere. You cannot blackmail me into buying from you because I'm your family member. So if you think your skill set is not enough, go and learn more. But don't sit down hoping that your family members will be the one to help you. Your business will never grow in such light. It's been Business and Life, and we've been talking about why your business isn't growing, the mindset and decisions you take that limits the growth of your business. I'm talking from Aloore Radio, which is transmitting from the GSM studio at the Oyo State Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism at the Secretariat Agodi, Ibadan. And this is going on Facebook Live at Aloore Radio, on YouTube Live at Aloore Radio, and on the internet at www.aloreradio.com. I'm Chris Okafor, and I'm talking about why your business even is not growing. So I'll just catch a breath, and I'll be back in a minute to continue with this discussion.
It's 12 a.m. in the morning. I still do it for your call. Don't do me like like this, oh yeah. Ara mi ti wa lọ́nà, yeah, yeah. 'Cause I don't dey wait, oh, I don't dey wait since, oh yeah, yeah. And I still dey pray, oh, I still dey pray, oh yeah. Oh, Dana, all my ego now for you.
All my ego for you.
All my raba now for you, yeah.
All my rubber for you.
Go me now for you, yeah.
Okay for you.
All the motor for my garage for you, yeah.
Put the motor in the garage for you. Yeah.
All my ego now for you.
Ego now for you. Yeah.
All my raba now for you, yeah.
All my rubber now for you. Yeah.
Go me now for you, yeah. All the motor for my garage for you,
Put the
yeah.
motor for the garage for you. OBO.
Well. Interesting song. Well, all your business money is not for you. So don't spend everything. All your business cards is not for you. Live within your means. Live within what you earn. And to, like I said earlier, put yourself on a salary and live within that. If you're not able to pay yourself more than your business is paying you right now, know that that is what your business can afford and live within that means. You know, we live in a part of the world in Africa where people want to show off to the next person. You want your colleague, your school members, your old students association member to know that you are doing way better than you look. And so you begin to live fake life and begin to, sometimes you borrow to meet up with a particular lifestyle. There's no point putting yourself under pressure. If your business is not there yet, it's not there yet. If you live the right kind of life, prudent lifestyle, the business will eventually grow. So live within your means. Your business can make a profit, yes. It can make a 500,000 naira profit. It doesn't mean that you have 500k of your own. You have your salary to stay on at the end of the month. Simple. Even if the business is raking in much more, stay within your means. After a while, if you think the business is making much more, you can increase your salary. After all, you are the head of your own business. You can increase your pay, but ensure that your business always pay you. Don't just dip hand in your business. The next point I'm going to talk about is borrowing. Watch what you borrow for. Actually, borrowing is very good. It's a means of having additional money into your life, into your business. Countries borrow, businesses borrow, governments borrow. It's a good thing to borrow, but watch out for what you borrow for. Don't borrow to do things that won't bring you money. Don't borrow to buy personal things. Don't borrow to buy personal cars. Don't borrow to buy clothing. Allow time and events to make that happen. I've seen people borrow money to buy things like cars, and they have to pay back with interest that can be very heavy on them, and you find it very difficult and devastating on their business. Borrow for your business only when you want to use it to execute a job or a project which you know will repay its fund. So some say fake it until you make it. I don't believe in that. Well, 80% who do that don't get it. They don't get to make it. They live under heavy burden of debt until they eventually fizzle out. Don't compare yourself with anybody and put yourself under unnecessary pressure. Do not borrow for things that will not bring back money. So if you have a project, for example, you are making, let's say you're making small chops, and then you're giving a project at a party, you're supposed to make a small chop worth ₦1,000,000, and you're paid 600,000 naira as advance, and you know you need about 800,000 naira to be able to complete the job. Yes, you can borrow 200,000 naira to complete the job, because you know once you get your balance, you'll be able to refund that payment. Those are good borrowings. But you don't borrow just to keep alive. You don't borrow money to buy a new set of clothing for your wardrobe. You don't go and borrow money to buy things that are not going to regenerate themselves. I've seen people borrow money to buy commercial vehicles. It's a different ball game. That is a business on its own. Expecting that the commercial vehicle will repay itself. It's a business. In that situation, that vehicle is an investment. It's different. But when you have to borrow to do certain things, you have to borrow to buy gadgets that are not relevant for your business. You borrow to buy phones that are worth ₦1,000,000 when you really do not have need for such things. You don't have necessity for that. So watch what you borrow for. And the next thing I see, do you advertise? I've seen business people who are shy to talk about their businesses. They walk in here and they can't talk about what their business is all about. When you ask them, they will still find it difficult and struggle to talk about what their business is all about. Business people are not shy people. If you're going to do business, you have to be able to carry your business on your face everywhere you go. you wear your business brand, you wear your business bangle, you wear armbands of your business, you carry pen that you have managed to brand your business name, anything that just have to do with your business. If you're a tailor, for example, wear your own clothing. You can't be a tailor and be wearing a polo and be wearing round neck t-shirt if you are not the one making the t-shirt. Anyway, if you are the one making the t-shirt, fantastic, wear it more often, but always wear what you make as a tailor. Let people see. If you're a hairdresser, for example, make hairs that make people ask you questions. Oh, where did you do this? And you say, I do it. If you walk inside the studio, for example, people should be able to ask you where you made your clothing from, and then you begin to use that to talk to every other person about how you make clothing. That's how you talk about your business. So it's not about you you are into soap making, and then you get somewhere and people are talking about how they want to distribute soap for Easter gift, and you are shy to talk about it. At that moment, that is when you should blow your trumpet. So whatever business you're doing, you should advertise. When there's an event, always be there to ensure that you talk about your business. I've seen somebody that no matter what event you invite her to, a conference or anything, she just pick one of her staff and say, just outside the hall, set up this small stand and put up our product there. That is how a businessman thinks. If you don't want to do such things, just leave that business alone and go and get a paid employment. There you don't need to talk about your company if you're not a salesperson in the business. But if you are running businesses, then everywhere you go, to whom it may concern, you have to talk. And not only talking, you have to talk excitedly about it. People get the vibe when you're talking excitedly about your business. They realize that you're excited about what you're talking about. So because you are so convinced, you're excited, you can't wait to talk about it. It brings conviction on the other part. So there's no shame in it. Just talk your business as much as you can. And do not feel shame when you're spending money. You don't feel shame when you're spending money of the business, do you? So why do you feel shame talking about the business? Today you have cheap tools to advertise your business. You have WhatsApp status that you don't even have to pay a dime from apart from the data. You have WhatsApp broadcast. You have Facebook posts. You have Instagram stories, Facebook stories, and so on like that. You even have paid advert on Facebook that could help you reach people outside of your outside of your friendship zone and outside of your followers. You can use all of that. Paid adverts of less than 5,000 naira. All of those things are good for businesses. They help you push your business out. Get to it. Talk about it just as much as you can, and do as much as you can. Wear anything. I just can't talk enough of this. I want to get out of it, but it's difficult. In some cases, do free things to put you on certain pedestal. You can go somewhere, there's an event, and choose to help them brand the backdrop of the hall. There's a award giving thing. Just okay, I'll brand the backdrop. I'll brand the red carpet. Where you know that in the course of branding you put your logo somewhere there. In the course of the branding you put your monogram somewhere there. Where people taking pictures, they will always see your logo. And you're giving Christmas gift, you're giving Easter gift, Salah gift, anything. Just ensure your logo goes with it. All those kinds of gestures keeps your brand in people's faces. That's part of advertisement. Just ensure that your brand is in the face of people as much as possible and as you can think of. And another cause I want to talk about is, do you socialize? Do you meet people? An introvert business person does not really go very far. No matter who you are, you're the MD of a bank, a CEO of a bank, you are a salesperson. Everywhere you go, you are selling the service of your company. You're selling whatever it is that your business does. So where there's a conference talking about bag makers, you should be there with other people, discussing modalities, discussing new trends, discussing how to bring down your cost. Meet with fellow bag makers. If they're talking about Adire, always be there. Show up at events, socialize. There's a party somewhere, show up with your gorgeous clothing. Let people ask you where you made them from. If possible, even take one or two persons that's also wearing your clothing. But even when people take pictures with your clothing, put it on the social media pages that so and so person is wearing your brand. Your younger sister is wearing your brand. Take a picture of her, put it up there, tag her, and says dress made by so and so persons. You see, you even see photographers, dressmakers who sue celebrities for posting pictures of clothing they paid for without tagging them. Yes, people need to know who made them. So you see people, celebrity post, you see the dressmaker, you see the shoe maker, you see the cap maker, you see the wristwatch maker. Everyone is tagged in the post. Get involved in such things. Ensure that whatever you're doing, you put it in the faces of people as much as possible. Ask colleagues on how they arrive at their decisions, and ask people you have made closings for on how you can help them improve. And then I tell you, one of the things that could limit your business is when you think you know it all. Submit to someone. Let there be somebody that you can talk to about your business, especially business person that have gone ahead of you. Let there be somebody that you can walk up to and say, help me on this thing. I have this challenge in this situation. When you were a smaller business, how did you overcome it? How did you overcome this challenge I'm having with my finances? How did you overcome this challenge I'm having with my bookkeeping? How do you overcome this challenge that I'm having with this and I'm having with that? Have someone you submit to, somebody you can ask advice and decision, somebody you can put up even your bookwork to and say, this is my account. I don't know where my money is going. Can you help me look through? And it has to be somebody that can talk to you and you will listen. You should be teachable. Somebody that can look at it and say, you're spending too much money on data, cut it down. You're spending too much money on recharge card, cut it down. You're spending too much money on fuel, cut it down. You're spending too much money on this, and you'll be willing to listen. Because if you're not willing to, nobody sees it all, nobody knows it all, nobody can claim to be everything at every time. Some people are likely to spot things that you do not see. So have one or two persons that you know you can walk up to and say, I need help regarding this. How do I get around this? How do I overcome this? How do I stabilize myself regarding this? So talk about things with the person. Seek advice on way forward and then new things. And I'm not putting anyone down actually. But if you're a business person, seek advice more from business persons. It's easier because they wear your kind of shoes. I'm not talking about literally. I mean, they toe your kind of path. They are most likely to be able to understand where you're coming from. They are most likely to understand why you are broke at a certain point in time. They are most likely to understand why end of the month is a challenging time for you. Yes, because for other people, end of the month is when they get paid. For you, end of the month is a challenging period because that's when you pay people and that's when you go broke. So they are more likely to understand the dynamism of running a business. So seek advice more from people who toe your path, who are in your line of business, and they are likely to give you the same advice or relative advice as a businessman. Seek advice from like mind. Well, I will take another short break now and listen to some good music, and then we'll be back to bring up the final conclusion on this edition of Why Business and Life, which is titled Why Is My Business Not Growing?
Oh, can't see me now. I wanna be by you day or night. For you I'll stand in line. Be the rider for your ride. Anytime you're looking for a sign, anything you need, just I'm your guy. I only wanna keep you satisfied. My love is real, no silicone, and I got you every day minimum. And you can call on me whenever. I got you under my umbrella. Yeah, yeah. I just wanna be there for you. Yeah. 24/7. I just wanna be there. Just wanna be there for you. Oh yeah. I just wanna be there for you. Yeah. Even in heaven, I just wanna be there. Just wanna be there for you. Oh yeah.
It's bang, yo. I just wanna be there. I ain't got a stunt, acting like I don't care. Even through the bad good times that we shared. Running to my goals, can't see him in the rear. Couple haters over there. Get into the bag, nigga, life ain't fair. Drip too hard, make him stop and stare. Smoking mirrors anytime you go clear. Gotta be prepared. Now I got your back, car, I got you like that. Even when you hit the trap and you used to flip packs. Always kept you on track, right by your side. No, I'm down to ride. You ain't never gotta hide, you ain't even gotta lie. Look me in my eyes, already know you ain't like them guys. Bro, love you provide. Said I'll do it for you. When's the last time I ain't come true? Never.
My love is real, no silicone, and I got you every day minimum. And you can call on me whenever. I got you under my umbrella. Yeah, yeah. I just wanna be there for you. Yeah. 24/7. I just wanna be there. Just wanna
Anybody will won't fight you. May they come, they already know. I'll be right beside you, like the wall of Jericho. They don't know, they don't know, they don't know what's going on. Monagiso, 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 my baby boo. I'll be a soldier for you. I'm getting better in Kung Fu. You should know I got you, and you don't need to guide me too. I'll be right beside you in anything that you do. If you ever need saving, I will be running to you, running, running, running to you. I'll be running to you, running, running, running to you. Anywhere that you go to, running, running, running to you. I'll be running to you, running, running, running to you. Anywhere that you go.
Yeah, welcome back to Business and Life series on Aloore Radio, transmitting from the GSM studio at the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism at the Oyo State Government Secretariat, Agodi, Ibadan. And we are transmitting on social media handles at Aloore Radio on Facebook, at Aloore Radio on YouTube, and at www.aloreradio.com. I am Chris Okafo, and I'm talking about business today on why certain businesses do not grow as quickly as you'll have wanted them to be. Before I finally wrap up this, I'd just have to go through the highlights, the points I made in this business. As a business person, I said, number one, register your business. Number two, manage your finances. Have proper bookkeeping and proper arrangement of your accounts. Friends and families, purchasing but not enough. Look beyond them. Yes, they're a good thing to patronize you, but look beyond them and live within your means. Live within what you make and you generate, and watch what you borrow for. Do advertising and then socialize. Those are basically the things. And the last point I had before we finally went off is that you submit to somebody who can give you, like a mentor, who can give you relative advice regarding the things you're doing, regarding your business. And so the final wrap up of this is to let you know that business is not torture, because it looks like, why is life so difficult? All the things you have read that look like somebody in a concentration camp. Yes, but reward yourself when you do well in business. Once in a while, when you make a major break, when you see that things that seem complicated at some point manages to ease out, you can reward yourself. You can just take yourself out, buy yourself something nice. It doesn't mean every week or every month. Once in a while, just to give you that mindset of growth, just to give you that mindset of a victor, somebody who have achieved something. Once in a while, reward yourself. When you do well, reward yourself with something. It activates a serotonin in your system and makes you excited to do more. The same way get salary and that's excited, and they feel happy that something has come in. As a business person, to a different point in time, reward yourself. We have bigger companies who will reward staff who have done well. In your small business, also reward yourself when you do well. It's important because it helps your psyche. It helps you to project yourself that, I'm seeing rewards of my businesses, and allow the business grow enough before you begin to siphon from it. Just like I gave the analogy of a baby, there'll be time where you invest in the business. There'll be time you put so much in the business, and there will be time the business will give back to you. Be patient enough to wait until that time when your business will give back to you. Don't be too much in a hurry. Milking the business at an early stage will kill the business. If it doesn't eventually kill the business, it will run it down or slow down its growth. So we're looking at the things that limit growth of business and why businesses are not growing, and we've itemized setting up points and highlights that could be responsible. And I believe that some of these points I've brought up, these things are not written in stone. There are some you can develop on your own. There's some you can work out regarding how you think your business is structured. But it's important. Some key ones that are very important is your bookkeeping, your record book, your lifestyle, and other things, what you borrow for, and some other situations that you might need and especially always advertise, talk about your business, be proud of what you do, and put yourself always in front. It's been an exciting time talking business today on Business and Life on this channel. I look forward to being here again some other time, but I know that next week, Tuesday, somebody else will be here again to talk about business. It's been Business and Life, and today we have been talking about why your business isn't growing, and I believe that some of these points I've raised are likely to be why your business isn't growing, and if you can work on them and try to separate your lifestyle from your business, I believe very strongly you will be able to take off. We're speaking mostly towards smaller businesses who are just taking off, young businesses who have not fully established themselves. So we've been talking this on Aloore Radio, transmitting from the GSM studio rather, at the Ministry of Information and Culture and Tourism, Oyo State Government Secretariat. Here are the Facebook channels: Aloore Radio on Facebook, Aloore Radio on YouTube, and www.aloreradio.com. And thanks for listening, and I hope that we have this continued next week on another interesting and exciting edition of Business and Life. Have a fantastic day.
Stand as a people with one song, with one voice.